Good enough. Sweet. Okay, so safety glasses. All right, table saw. So this, has anyone never used it as a table saw before? Yay, cool. So you won't be able to say that at the end of class. Very exciting. Right now, again, I'm just gonna set it back to 0. So there's 2 spinning handles down underneath the table. One of them adjusts the angle, and then one of them adjusts the height of the blade. So we're double checking that it's at 0. You'll see a scale down there with a bunch of numbers. Now we're at 0. Okay, so to prepare the tool for use, bring your piece of wood that you're cutting over to the blade, and we're gonna check the height. So we want it to be reasonable. So that's not gonna quite do it. That's not enough. And this is a little excessive. So I'm gonna bring it down so that the valley maybe between the blades hits about the piece of wood. This is a saw stop. So if wet wood, like really wet wood, metal or your finger were to be touching the blade during operation, so while it's on, there's a break underneath the table that will slam into the blade. So it'll break both components, so no demonstrations, but that's how it works. So you can trust that the worst thing that could happen is you'll get 1 stitch or a paper cut. So you can feel really safe about this exposed blade. Okay, so to set it up, we're checking the height. I've adjusted the angle, and then the next thing we're gonna do is adjust the fence. So this guy locks, unlocks, slides side to side, and then down here, we have a tape measure that reads with a magnifying glass and a red line where the distance is from the fence to the edge of this blade. We don't need to factor in the thickness of the blade, it's considering the edge of the blade to the fence. So what we're gonna be doing for our legs, we're gonna take a 2x4 and turn it into a 2x2. Just for your reference, a 2x4 is not 2x4, it's 1.5 by 3.5. They did in fact used to be 2x4. So inflation, I don't know, things like that, where it's now less than. So 1.5 by 3.5 are the dimensions. So same with a 2x2. A 2x2 is actually 1.5 by 1.5. So we're gonna take that 1.5 and we're gonna cut it down. And so then we're gonna end up with 2 legs and a little piece of scrap about this size. So you're gonna end up with a leg like so. So in order to adjust the fence, so we've adjusted the height. In order to adjust the fence, we're going to look at our scale here, our tape measure, and we're gonna push it over, maybe make any small adjustments by just kind of tapping the side and then locking it in place. Another way to check is you can run it through, we've got it 1.5 this way, great. We're gonna then have that matching 1.5 going this way. Okay, for operation, feel free to stand anywhere that you guys can see me. I'll also push this a little to the side so it's a little easier to see. Okay, so I like to say on, off, near. So on, safety glasses, sawdust. I'll turn it off so you can hear me. So on, off, as I keep my piece of wood off of the blade, off of the red zone. I'm not holding on to it while I'm reaching down, just off of the blade. Near is the push stick, because this is gonna help you finish the cut. On, off, near. Then when we're ready to go, I have a paddle down here to turn it on. So I pull the bottom towards me to turn it on, I push it to stop. So I pull it towards me. And what's nice is depending on your stance, if you're nice and close, which you will be to finish the cut, you can kind of turn it off with your leg if you ever need to. Say hold on to the wood and stop it and reset for any reason. Okay, so when we're ready to go, I'm going to, just for demonstration, we'll lock it about here. Perfect. Okay, so on, off, near, we would then turn the blade on. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring the piece of wood up against the fence, and my hand is gonna become part of the table. Only my thumb is moving. I'm not gonna be moving my hand with the wood closer and closer to the blade. Instead, knuckles down, maybe fingers, but I like knuckles down, and it just kind of guides the wood forward like so. So first thing, we push it up against the fence, knuckles down, just my thumb moves. It's kind of up to you. I don't usually have my fingers too close to here because then I'm gonna get a splinter, so I might kind of inchworm them back and forth. Up against the fence, pushing here. My right hand, I'm not on the top because then you're gonna have it more of a seesaw. I'm grabbing the wood and I'm guiding it forward, not too aggressively, but just pushing it forward, forward, forward. And then once I get nice and close to the table, where there's a lot of support from the wood on the table, the wood's not hanging off, again, like potentially seesawing, I can grab my my push stick. So the little nub at the back here is gonna go at the back of your wood. You're splitting the difference between the fence and the blade. And then you're gonna finish the cut with the push stick. So once it gets going, you feel good with the push stick. Release your left hand so it's out of the way. You don't have to think about it. And right about here, halfway through the blade, you're going to have a cut. So it's going to be completely cut through. But instead of releasing and the wood still interacting with the blade and potentially traveling this way, you're going to finish the cut past the red zone. So you push all the way past. But then you still have this off-cut piece, so then use the tip of your push stick to push it out of the way. Instead of down here dropping your elbow closer to the blade, just use the tip. So one more time, and then I'll go ahead and turn it on. So on, off, near, up against the fence, little leapfrog with my thumb, not my toe. We're pushing it forward. And then once your right hand gets close enough to the table, and there's enough support of the wood on the table, grab your push stick, put the nub in the back, get it going. Once you're going, left hand to the side. It's cut all the way past the red zone. Push your extra piece away, and then you can turn it off. If you feel comfortable, you can pull your cut piece, because you're going to cut it again. You can leave the tool running and then go ahead and make another cut. All right, so demonstration, we're going to adjust that to 1.5. We like our height 1.5, and I like to double check it too, because this tape measure is getting used a little bit. Okay, on, off, near, and clear space. It's also good to keep an eye on the space. Do we have enough room down there? On, off, near, good to go. I'm gonna turn my tool on. Up again. And also check for metal, right? No metal. All right, up again, hand down. Sliding it forward. Holding with my left hand, grab it with my right. Hand to the side. It's cut, finish it, move to the side. So one other big important thing, you don't want to stand behind it, because if there's ever any tension between the blade and the fence, it's going to travel this direction. So you're just to the side of it. And was there one other thing? No, just a reminder to check the metal on your pieces. That's why I had you guys remove the staples, for example. So you'll do one, you'll grab it, you'll do another cut, and 2 more. So you'll have 4 total cuts on the table saw. I'm happy to be here to guide you. So that's on your legs after you've cut them on the miter saw. Cool, any questions? Okay, awesome. Back to it.